Hi, I'm Chandler-Yates, ex-New Zealand police officer and also American originally, but been here 18 years in New Zealand. Now, I do these videos so that you get the knowledge so you can decide on whether you want to be the best police officer and then how to be the best police officer that you can be. So, without further ado, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and the alert bell so you don't miss out on these videos. This is video number 2 of our series around why you should be, shouldn't be, and how to be the best cop. So, today, we are talking about why not to be a cop. Last video, if you missed it, go check it out. It is in our in the playlist of this where this video is, and it is why you should be a cop. So today we're going to talk about why you shouldn't be a cop. And if you want more knowledge, you want more assistance, you want to learn all of my tips and tricks and from my experience, so that I can teach and coach you to become the best police officer you can be and never get to where I did, where I got burned out, almost burned my whole life down, almost cheated on my wife, almost burned my relationship away, almost became one of those statistics that we're hearing about so much about the police. Then hit the links down below. Go into the description. You'll see all the different things, all the different ways that we can work together and experiences. I'm excited about the motorcycle trip one, but yeah. Anyways, so without further ado, why not become a cop? This is going to be a video and an episode that is not like really many other ones. There's not many people that tell you why you shouldn't be a cop. But if you know why you shouldn't be a cop, then you can counteract them. You can then stay focused on it. You're like, no, I actually still, even after hearing this, I want to become a cop. This is why my clients that are in the police fitness prep program, love it so much because I tell them the reality of policing. A lot of them know it or have see it on media, but I tell them the real reality, the traumas you're going to see, the shift work, the stress, the fatigue, the losses that you have, the guilt, the frustrations, the cynicism that you become, the negativity, the angry, the burning out, the PTSD, and the extreme alertness that ultimately drains you. So those are some of the things we're going to go over in a bit more detail today. But ultimately, I'm telling you this not to put you off. I'm telling you this so you can learn from my mistakes and so many mistakes of previous officers, the ones that were losing to their own hand, the ones that were losing because they're retiring, because one of these takes over. You can figure out how to overcome it. And that's exactly what I do with people. So I might talk a little bit about that today, but these are the things of why you should not become a cop. These are the things that can happen to you and will happen if you are not aware of them. Trauma. Police see. Now, this is a stat out of New York. Police see 18 times, that's 1-8 times as much trauma. And when I say trauma, that's death, that's suicides, that's car crashes, that is things that hit the brain in a way that we just can't comprehend at times. 18 times as much in their first year of policing, that's first 12 months being on the street as a civilian. So before you join the police, will in their entire lifetime. Imagine those stats. So if you don't know how to deal with trauma, how to work through it, how to articulate it out, how to talk about it, how to counteract it, how to work through it, it will burn you out. It will cause you PTSD because you see 18 times as much of it. Now, I talk about this a lot, proximity. When you're in the proximity of something, you become the average of it. So you will become the average of the trauma. You will start to act as if that trauma has taken over you. And your mind doesn't know how to deal with that much trauma. So you really have to have tools in place to counteract that trauma. Police are also 6 times more likely to burn out, suffer depression, anxiety, all the different mental illnesses than any other job. 6 times more likely. These are stats out of, I don't have them in front of me, but these are stats out of research papers from the US. Now, if you're in New Zealand, you might be like, but we're not the US. It's not as dangerous. It's getting there. Every cop that I know on the street deals with some sort of firearm or some sort of traumatic job every single shift. The dispatchers and the comms takers that I talk to and have as clients that are wanting to become police officers, dealing with something every single shift. That's every single shift. Working 40 hours a week, at least once a shift, more like multiple. So You have to know how to deal with that trauma. And in our last video, we talk about, in the next video, we'll talk about how to know if you should become a cop. And then on the fourth video of this series, what you must know. So I'm going to talk about how to overcome these traumas. So the next thing is shift work. Shift work can be a great thing, but it can be an evil thing. Talking to a friend of mine who used to be in the police, he's now out, and he and I were talking about how antisocial policing work is, why police end up just hanging out with other cops. And that is because of the shift work. You're off when other people are not. You're working when other people are not. And so you get this thing. So you really have to be aware that that's going to happen. You can counteract it, and you must counteract it. Otherwise, you become the average of the people that you're hanging out with. And you don't necessarily just want to stay the average of police officers. You want to stay the average of the people that are above and beyond you, so that then you can grow and develop. This is why I catch up with my buddy, my best friend from the police all the time, because I want to help him grow, and he wants to help grow and become the better person and better cop that he knows he can be. He's a great freaking cop, but as a person, he knows he can bring that to it. So the next thing is stress. You will be stressed out. Most days you're at work and be running on adrenaline. You will be so stressed out, you got all this paperwork to do. I'll tell you this right now, 80 to 90% paperwork, 10 to 20% fun. So get ready for that. They won't tell you that until you're at training. But you're stressed. You'll be stressed unless you know how to deal with the stress. You know how to counteract the stress. You will get stressed out. You'll have situations that don't go your way. You'll have the criminal or the justice system or judicial system you'll feel is failing everyone. You won't agree with the political decisions that the bosses make and that the politicians make. You will get stressed out about it unless you counteract it. And again, fourth video of this series, we're going to talk about that. So it'll come out in a few days. Next thing is fatigue. Because of the shift work and because of the high adrenaline state that you're in as a cop, you will get fatigued. You'll need to figure out ways for you, and I'll talk about those in the fourth video of this, how to counteract that fatigue, how to recharge those adrenals, how to build yourself back up on your days off so your tank is not empty. Tank fillers are massive things. You don't run a Ferrari or a car on empty all the time, because then you're stressed out that the car is going to die all the time. You got to figure out ways to fill your tank up. Loss. You will lose people. Not just your colleagues, and sadly more and more we're losing, into their own hand, into offenders' hands, especially if you're in the US. But you will lose clients. You will lose people that you deal with. You will have that suicide happen. You will be helping somebody from a car crash and they will pass away. You will lose parts of yourself. You will lose parts of yourself and you will not know where they went. So how do we counteract that? Again, the fourth video. But the little tidbits, little trick, little thing right now is remembering who you are. Know your true identity. You are not the badge, you are not the gun, you are not the vest. Know who you are. I am somebody who helps myself and others truly see ourselves. That is my identity. It's all to create the best version of ourselves. But my identity is to help myself and others truly see ourselves, see what we're capable of, both physically, mentally. That is who I am. Not what I do, but who I am. Guilt. From that loss will come guilt. You will blame yourself because you didn't do enough at that last domestic and it went further. You will blame yourself because you feel like you didn't do enough when it came to pushing for sentencing. Ways to get through that is recognize what you did do right. You'll get frustrated at those same exact things. You get frustrated at the fact of, why is the judicial system not throwing these kids and these juveniles away and putting them in prison? Why are they not holding somebody accountable? Why did that guy get off? Why is that sentencing not enough? And I can tell you this from experience, it does not do us any good being frustrated. It does us good to focus on how and what we are making happen and doing our best. And if you want to go higher up and make more impact in those specific areas, get really, really really good at dealing with them. And then move yourself up in the ranks or move yourself into a political position and start making that change yourself. But otherwise, focus on what you have control of. And that's how you overcome the frustration. There's a little bit. Cynical. I remember my mom, when I said I wanted to become a cop, when I started fighting for it, she said to me some of these same things I'm saying to you. And I said, no, 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 no. I'll be fine. I'll be all good. But I took no action to be all good. So I ask you to at least follow and subscribe to this channel. Come over to my Instagram, Chris Chandler-Yates. That's Chandler like friends, Yates, Y-A-T-E-S, with a Chris in the front. Come over to my Instagram and you'll see all of the stuff that I talk about, both fitness and mindset. Because you will become cynical because you'll deal with the bottom 2 to 10% of society every day. You will have once a month, maybe, that somebody says thank you, that somebody openly shows you appreciation, especially in this climate right now. 5, 10 years ago, it was a little bit better, especially in the US, where you would be thanked all the time. And certain states are great and counties are great. But otherwise, you will become cynical because you are dealing with the bottom of society all the time. And you become the average of who you hang out with. And I always wondered why I hated people. Because I dealt with the idiots of the world. And I'll call them idiots because they are. How they grow and you can help guide them. I talked about that in the last video. Why you should do policing. But yes, you will become cynical if you do not work on it and put things in place to not. You'll also, along with that, become negative. That whole people suck. I hate people. This job is horrible. I'm not doing anything well. All I do is give out tickets. All I do is go to domestics. All I do is scrape people up off the road. You will become negative if you do not counteract it. If you are not vigilant on where your mind is. You hold the power in here to direct yourself wherever you want. It's not your body, actually. It is your mind that does it. Now you can do physical movement to help reinforce that mind. You got to think something, then you got to take action. Think something, then take action. Think something, then take action. So gratitude journal. Think about what you're grateful for, take action, write it down. By doing that, it constantly concretes it in. You'll then become angry. Because you'll be frustrated, cynical, and then it'll turn into anger. Now, I was talking with some cops and they believe anger gets you moving. No, anger doesn't. I do not believe anger gets you moving. What anger does is it gets you angry. Determined gets you moving. The anger might turn into determination quickly if you're conscious of it. But I used to be an angry person. I used to say I had anger issues. I had an anger problem. And I was just okay with it. Well, really what it was, I was angry at myself. I was frustrated at myself that I had become this person. That I had let all the stuff get under my skin. Once I let go of it and recognized it, I haven't been angry in 4 years. And the times that I have, I've recognized it quickly. And I've gone, okay, why am I angry? This is not good. Anger does not get shit done. Anger causes more problems. Discipline and determination gets things done. Anger causes more problems. You get angry at your missus because she did something wrong, that ain't going to cause any change. You get determined to make a difference with your missus, to communicate better with her, to love her more. It's way different than getting angry with her because you want the change, or getting angry in the fact that things aren't right. It'll just make it worse. Anger is not an emotion that you should be proud of. Burned out. You will get burned out in this job. You're getting pulled 12 different directions, have 100 different files sitting on your desk or on your computer, and then you get called to another job that takes you all shift to get done Plus, then you have other stuff going on. Plus, then you have overtime. Then you have also the fact that you go home and you've got kids, you've got all these different things, and you're fatigued and you're tired and you're angry and you're cynical and you're frustrated and nothing's going right. It burns you out even more. Plus, then you add all the trauma that you've seen on top of it, and you're not dealing with any of that. Holy crap, it sounds like a horrible job, doesn't it? It is the hardest job, but the best job. You learn to counteract burnout. And this is my specific tools. This is what we're doing on the motorcycle retreat, teaching you exactly how to not burn out. The lost sentence. And then you also have the Create from Why program. And then you have the Police Fitness Prep program. And it's all about teaching you how to implement tools into your life so you don't burn out while you accomplish the other things that you want to accomplish. So PTSD. When you're in a burned out state, you are more likely to get PTSD because your mind does not have the capacity or the energy to process the traumatic incident that you've been to. As a cop, 18 times as much. You see 18 times as much trauma. Those traumatic incidents add up, and eventually they burn you out if you do not have the tools in place. Some of the things that I've talked about today, and I will in the 4th video. So that's 2 more videos from here. There's about 4 more days from now. You'll also get an extreme alertness, not in a good way. You'll be so alert that you'll have to sit with your back to the wall and your face to the door. It's the one that I luckily never really dug onto. You'll be so alert that you have to see that door because otherwise you just can't be present. You'll be so alert that you can't walk through the mall because there's too many people and there's too many threats. You'll be so alert that driving is no longer fun. You'll be so alert that you just don't want to leave the house because there's too many stimuli. There are ways to counter that. I will talk about them in the final video of this series. Because ultimately, you do not have to be that alert. You have training, you have discipline, and you know your body naturally knows what happens after being a cop for a year. You know how to deal with most situations, or you've processed it in your head in some way. I got to a stage where my wife could not leave the house without me giving her some sort of reprimand because I was so high alert. I wasn't even with her, and she had to do certain things so that I could feel better, so that she was more alert coming up to my level. Absolute BS. So this is why not to be a cop. Because you get all these things. Now, if you have not listened why you should be a cop, go listen to that video because it will set you up way better than this video does. This video tells you all the things to work on. The other video tells you all the awesome things that you're going to get out of it. So make sure you go watch that video. Make sure you hit the next video when it comes out. If you have not already seen it, if it is out already, go watch it now. But ultimately, best job in the world, hardest job in the world if you are not prepared for it and you're not vigilant at your own mind. Remember, you are in control of your mind, then you take action on it and it implements things in. Thank you. We will see you on the next video. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you share this. Make sure you comment what your biggest takeaway is. And we will see you in the next one. Thank you for liking and subscribing. And thank you for your service and for wanting to do such a big impact.